friends, I'm going to read a book to you today. It's called Enough, a Best Self-Adventure. The older woman approached the young boy. She had been sent by the teacher. "Please take him to the playground and let him run around," the teacher had requested. "He's being unruly, and he needs to get out his energy." The teacher was kind, but tired. The older woman stood before the young boy, looked down, and simply smiled. "I guess you want me to behave," the young boy sighed. The older woman and the young boy began to walk the flower-lined path toward the playground. "What does it mean to behave?" the older woman pondered aloud. "I think all you need to do is to try every day to be the best version of yourself." She smiled generously at the young boy. "What does that mean?" the young boy wondered. The older woman paused. She began to speak slowly, thinking as she talked. "Every day think, who am I right now? Be honest, that can be hard. Next, ask yourself, who do I want to be today? And when you answer, dare to dream something big. And then do your best to close that gap between who you are and who you want to be, just a little bit." The young boy cocked his head. "What?" he asked quizzically. The older woman asked the boy, "When you play make-believe, who do you pretend to be?" The young boy closed his eyes for a moment, danced from foot to foot, and began to imagine. Opening his eyes and jumping up and down, the young boy beamed. "I am an adventurer. I am leading an expedition." "Where are you going?" the older woman wondered. "To the ends of the earth to see and learn everything, and I will teach everyone on my expedition everything they need to know," the young boy exclaimed. The older woman smiled and continued. "Today you told yourself, I am an energetic boy, but I dream of going on an adventure to see everything the world has to offer. And look, right now you are on an adventure to the playground with me. You are on an expedition to see this corner of the world." The older woman held up her hands, palms close together. "You are closing the gap between who you are and who you want to be. Each day, your best self might be different. Your dreams might change. But working to be your best self and closing the gap is a good goal." The older woman nodded, agreeing with herself. "What if it's not enough?" the young boy worried. The older woman replied, "The day you were born, you were already enough, just as you were. You are enough right now, at this moment." The young boy looked up and down his body. "I am?" he asked doubtfully. "You are, and not only that, you will always be enough." "But the teacher says I disrupted the class. She says I am unruly." The young boy whispered sadly. He liked the teacher. "Do you know what unruly means?" the older woman asked the young boy. "No, not really," he admitted, shaking his head. "Unruly simply means you sometimes have more energy than the children and adults around you. It means your energy needs to be set free into the world. But some moments don't have space for lots of energy. Some moments are quiet moments, and quiet moments are important too. Even if you are unruly in a quiet moment, you are and will always be enough. And enough is a beautiful thing to be." The young boy stopped for a moment and looked at the older woman. "But if I'm already enough, how come I have to try to be my best self every day?" "That's a good question," murmured the older woman as they began to walk again. "You are enough whether your best self is to become an adventurer, a scientist, or anything else your heart dreams. We are all enough just the way we are, no matter what we decide to become or how many times we change our dreams. Being the best version of yourself that you are able to be at any moment is what allows your enoughness to shine. I think becoming a better version of ourselves every day is what makes life exciting." The older woman took a deep breath. They had walked a long way. They stopped at the entrance to the playground, and the older woman knelt down eye to eye with the young boy and stared straight into his eyes. "Your eyes are cloudy," the young boy marveled. "Is that how you can see inside me?" "Yes," the older woman replied, smiling. "Now, let's close that gap between who you are and the adventurer you want to be. Let's run to the end of the field and see what we find." "Okay," the young boy laughed, and he turned to run. The young boy ran as fast as the older woman's knees allowed, all the way to the end of the field where the butterfly garden began. The older woman sat happily in the grass and watched as the young boy danced and jumped his energy out all around her. "Look," the young boy giggled, "a butterfly. He likes that tall pink flower. What is it?" The young boy stood still, not wanting to frighten the butterfly. "I hear some honeybees. Where are they?" He carefully darted his eyes here and there until he spotted one. His eyes opened wide. "There! Do you see it?" he whispered loudly. The older woman nodded, and together they watched the butterfly flit about from flower to flower and listened as they watched the honeybee collecting nectar. When the teacher and the class joined them for recess, the young boy led the children on an expedition, pointing out all the things he had discovered on his adventure with the older woman. The teacher stood beside the older woman. "Thank you for helping my class today." The older woman smiled warmly at the teacher and reminisced. "The young boy reminds me of you when you were young." The teacher took the older woman's hand. "Thank you for teaching us both that we are enough just the way we are." The older woman replied, "Did you know that today the young boy's best self is an adventurer seeing the world?" The teacher smiled at the older woman. "I think maybe his best version of himself is right now, sharing with the other children all his energy and excitement about the things he learned on his adventure with you." The older woman and the teacher watched the children chasing butterflies, thinking their own thoughts, holding hands. They each felt quietly enough, comfortable being today's version of their best selves. The older woman thought out loud, "I wonder what wonderful version of themselves everyone will be tomorrow." The end. Thank you.